And yeah, today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. Um, Chirag and who else? Have I missed? Oh, Chirag, you're from Mumbai. Okay, it should be very hot in Mumbai, I'm guessing. Is it hot or rainy? So I think 2 p.m. is also an okay timing okay. So we are sharp at 2 and we can start. Okay, so welcome to those who are regular, and to those who are joining for the first time, a big welcome to you as well. Today we're going to talk about a topic that has shaped my journey more than I care to admit. We're going to talk about something we've all experienced some way or the other, some phase of our life or the other. We're going to talk about imposter syndrome. But we're not going to be talking about imposter syndrome as the enemy, but we're going to actually talk about how imposter syndrome can be a fuel to taking that action that you want to talk about, right? So when we talk about imposter syndrome, we always think of it like the enemy, like that little voice in our head that says, "Are you sure you can do this?" Or maybe you think, who am I to do this? Or do I even belong here, right? These are like really common things that come to our mind when we think of imposter syndrome. But if you actually think of it in a different way, imposter syndrome is also like a sign that you actually care about whatever you're doing, like it matters to you. It's very similar to fear, like whatever you are, because it matters to you, and that's why you're having all these thoughts and all these multiple thoughts in your head crossing in different directions. Let me give you an example. So last week, someone reached out to me for meeting for a cup of coffee. Okay, so she wanted to really know how I'm working with my online audience. How am I getting participants for my workshop, and how am I getting them to stay, or how am I building my online community? So she wanted to know about these. So for context, she was working as a surveyor, and then she recently did her yoga certification, and she wanted to be a yoga instructor, and her ultimate dream is to have like her yoga online classes going. So she really wanted to know, how do you build an audience, where do you find them, how do you get them to stick with you, and all those questions. So she had one question that really stuck with me. She asked me, what if I put out the poster, what if I share that I'm taking this class and nobody signs up? Okay, nobody signs up for it. Like, what do? I just show up and then no one comes. What happens then? It's a very valid question. And I'm going to tell you the same example that I actually told her. So, a few months back, I had collaborated with another artist. Okay, I'm not going to say the name, but I had collaborated with another artist. And both of us individually, we have sold out our workshops. We've managed to fill the seats. We've managed to, do our workshops successfully individually. So, we decided why not collaborate and, join our audiences and, make it something bigger. And the first time we tried it, we put out the poster, we reached out, we posted in different groups, we advertised it, we did everything. You won't believe, two of us combined, we didn't get more than 3 or 4 people to sign up. And we were wondering, like, what is happening? Like, we have individually managed to, sell out our workshops, but together we were not able to raise even more than 4. So the first time it happened, we were like, maybe it's not the right time, or maybe, it's not the right season. Like, all these things also have seasons. Like, people have holidays, people, it's examination season. It depends on seasons of the period as well. So we kind of wrote it off on that. We tried again after I think a month or so. We tried again, and would you believe, again, it did not work out. We couldn't get enough signups that would be worth our time. So I was, of course, very disappointed because it was my, she's more experienced than me. So I was definitely very disappointed. She's like, you know what? These things do happen. So, um, this has happened with me. So when I was deciding my illustrated journaling workshop, so for context, for those of you who don't know, um, these illustrated journaling workshops, like this illustrated journal thing, had started as something that I personally used to do to document my journey across Thailand recently. And I was writing a lot about it on Substack, and then people started liking it. They wanted to really learn how to do it. And I was getting many requests to the point that I could not ignore it anymore. So I was like, okay, initially I wrote about it. Hi. So, oh, someone else. Yeah, I know, Shobha. So it when I did have these kind of articles going on, people asking me, how do I do this? I would also like to learn. I kind of initially would write the articles and actually send them different, handouts that they could try by themselves. But then everyone started asking, oh, how about we get in a room and we do it together, like on Zoom or something? Now, these were many suggestions for me to ignore. And I was like, oh God, should I do it? Because creating art is one thing and teaching art is a whole different ballgame. So, for context, hi Madhumita. I'm not saying hi to many people. Hi Madhumita. Hi. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Anthony. Hi. Thank you so much for joining. I love your tips, by the way. So, yeah, coming back to the story. So I was like, okay, teaching art and doing art, two different things altogether. And I am a qualified, registered, and experienced English teacher. So I've always taught English in schools. I have always taken workshops on communication, public speaking, all these. This is my qualified forte. And I have been, hi Madhu, long time. Yes, long time. Thanks for joining. So I have always taught English and these kind of trainings, but never art. Not teaching art in schools or in organizations was an intentional decision because I don't really condone the way art is taught in schools. I mean, for God's sake, visual art lessons have exams, and I'm very against that system of having an exam to evaluate creativity and art. I think that's the first killer for creativity for any child. So I refuse to teach in schools when it comes to art. Now, here I have these requests coming from my subscribers on Substack and other mediums wanting to learn how to document their life more intentionally through illustrated journaling, right? And I'm thinking, how am I going to teach people something that comes very intuitively to me? How am I going to do that? So I was like, can I do it? Would I ruin creativity for them forever? All of those questions, right? All of those imposter syndrome typical questions. So I did one thing. I designed the poster for the first session. So I was going to do it. I decided I would do it. If I were to do it, I would do it in 4 modules. And I put out the poster for the first module. And I was like, if people join, great, then I have to design the course from scratch. And if no one joins, then it's fine. I at least tried, right? Like, I can answer myself. I said, okay, fine, I tried, but nobody joined. Fair. Now, let me geek out a little bit with you on this. So, understanding your personality type is a great hack for handling your imposter syndrome. Okay. So, I don't know if you've read this book by Gretchen Rubin. She's one of my favorite authors. And if you have read her books, she writes, I love her writing style. And I'm particularly talking about her book, Four Tendencies. Okay. That's the book I'm talking about. Now, in this book, she classifies personalities into 4 different types. All right. So, you have an upholder. You have a questioner, you have an obliger, and you have a rebel. Okay. Now, without even knowing any of these, I thought, oh, if I take the quiz, hi MFR Siddiqui, thank you so much for joining. We're talking about imposter syndrome, and I'm kind of giving examples on how you can know your personality type and hack into your imposter syndrome. So yeah, coming back to it. So even if I did not take before even taking the quiz, I thought, yeah, ideally I should be a rebel, right? Like I thought that, oh, if I take the quiz and the outcome's going to be a rebel. I took the quiz and I was the most boring one, that is an obliger. Even if you don't know what an obliger is, it sounds so weak. But turns out my personality type is an obliger personality type. Let me tell you in short what it means. So, obliger is someone who meets external expectation but resists internal expectation. So if it's something to do with anything external, you're okay to meet that expectation. But if something that's for you or that comes from within, then you resist that expectation. And this was so bang on to the point that it was almost embarrassing. But then I did see a lot of, hi, Audravers. Sure, MFR. Yeah, people pleaser type, yes, but more so like you would do if the accountability is external. Like for example, I'll give you my example, though it's I kind of feel embarrassed saying it. But for example, if I have to submit an article to an organization, or probably I'm writing for someone else, I would do that. But if it was to work on my book, I would keep putting it off because that's an internal expectation. So I hope the type is clear. So I come under that category. No matter how uncool I find it, I am that personality type. And I saw a lot of her interviews with this personality type, like those who are obligers and who have managed to use their obliger personality to work for them than against them. So that was a very interesting thing for me to see and also to think that, yeah, I should try that for myself as well. So, all these obligers gave various examples of how they used external accountability to overcome their imposter syndrome and be consistent with things or take that action. Now, this example is yeah, it's clear. Oh, no problem. So, for example, with my Substack, I started Substack in Feb 2024. Okay. When I started Substack, by then I had read about my personality type and all these things. So I really wanted to be very consistent with my Substack. So what I did was when I initially started my Substack, I would feature stories from the community. So I was writing a lot about creative wellness, and I would invite stories from the community about people's experiences on how they deal with whatever is the topic. For example, if imposter syndrome is a topic, I would invite stories from the communities that I'm part of to share their experiences on how they handle it. Now, these are people who don't know me and have felt comfortable to open up and share their story with me, right? Now, that is one heck of an external accountability. I'm like, wow, these people have actually shared their personal instances with me for the article. And I feel beyond obliged to publish that article on time. That's how I started my Substack posting every Monday. So I post every Monday without fail. So I started like that because, like, I'm the messenger for their story. How can I let them down? Like, I can let myself down, but I can't let them down, right? That's the obliger in me. So that's how I got into the habit of posting every Monday. That was the initial days. Then it grew on to different topics, and now I write on topics beyond creative wellness. I write about creativity, identity, representations, and also things that which are important to me as well. But now it's like the article has probably views like 300, 400 views. So now in my mind, I'm like, wow, there are 300, 400 people expecting my article to be there in their inbox. Probably they're not, but those views give me the illusion that, okay, fine, the people are expecting, so I have to do it. So while this should not be the only reason, but it's a great hack to use your personality type to overcome that imposter syndrome and actually stick to whatever you want to do or whatever you feel uncomfortable doing. So I'm going to give you 4 tips to actually, take a crack at this. The first thing is take the first step, even if you're not ready. Okay, so the very example of this is the time that I first started my illustrated journaling. I designed the poster and put it out there. And I left it out to the external accountability to see whether it works or not. So I put it out there and 20 people signed up. Now, if 20 people have signed up for the course, I have no other choice than designing that workshop. So I had to design the workshop and design all the 4 modules because 20 people have signed up. 7 of them paid right after the first workshop session for the upcoming 3 sessions. Now, when money joins the equation, the accountability becomes 10x. So I'm like, okay, now I have to get this done. I have to do a good job at it because people have paid up upfront. So I had no other choice but to do a fabulous job. And we just finished the first round of workshops last Friday, and the feedback was beyond brilliant. I'll talk about that some other day. But basically, start before you're ready because I think that's one way to get off the initial friction. Secondly, if you do fail, like for example, if I'm someone who always works parallelly on plan A, B, and C. I never put all my eggs in one basket. It's never the case that, I've put all my hopes, all my efforts into one thing. And if that, bombs, I'm like, oh no, this is the end of the universe for me. I never function like that. I'm always a plan A, B, C person. You might say that, oh, your focus is diluted. It's not. It's in different proportions. So you take failure or you take disappointments way better, because if something does not work, I know I have two other things that I'm working on and I can focus better there. So it's a great way to redirect your energy if you're someone who is a little anxious, who feels, easily affected by imposter syndrome. This is a very good way to keep your attention and your energy on different things and still keep the motion still going. So if you fail, you have to quickly skip on to plan B and C, because you have all these other options also waiting for you. So you don't really feel that, oh my God, that's the end of it for you. Second thing, use external accountability. That is a very, very strong way to keep you and your imposter syndrome in check. For me, it's these lives. So the first live that I had was, I think, last month, if I'm not wrong. I was invited by another lovely Substacker, Anjali, and she had called me on for her live. Now, this was my first live on Substack. Like, I'm not new to speaking, but on Substack, I'd never done a live before. So since I was going to be going live with her, I was like, okay, even if nobody shows up, I still have her to speak to, right? So it was okay. It was kind of comfortable, but uncomfortable. So I went there. It was a fabulous experience. We had a great chat. A lot of people joined, stayed till the end, which is like really important. And yeah, it was a good experience. Then I was like, I want to do more of these lives. And so I decided I want to do a solo live. Okay. So once I think, I just randomly, impulsively decided to go live. And that time it was just a random time. I think it was post lunch. I was down for a walk or something, and I just decided to go live. It was very impulsive. So at that point in time, I think 5 or 6 people joined, and I was not too sure what I was going to talk about, how it's going to go, and I just showed up. And I kind of chickened out because I hadn't planned anything, and 5 to 6 people still came. So I was like, "What am I doing?" All of that, and I quickly, abruptly stopped the live. Then for my last week's live, I decided I'm going to put out a time. I'm going to put out a topic. I'm going to tell people in advance. Now, that is a lot of accountability because I've announced it. The topic is clear. People know what to expect and people are going to show up. So I kind of prep whatever points I want to talk about. I prep the poster, I put it out there. And that was last week. Honestly, this is like an honest confession. When I did my first live alone, I spoke for 30 minutes. And after it got done, I was like, why was I making a big deal out of it? It was completely fine. And when you take such actions, you have no idea how the ripple effect of that goes. Because last live, I did share a lot of my creative journey. I was talking about how creativity is more than a talent, it's a survival skill. So I was giving instances from my life. A lot of it was quite a vulnerable share. And you have no idea the amount of people who DM me, who message me during and after the live, how much, how nice it was for them to hear these kind of experiences. And I remember one of, I think it was Anjali who said that, oh, you know what? This gives me a lot of motivation to try my first solo live. She wants to do lives as well, but then she would always go with someone. But then she's like, I really feel very motivated to try my first live solo. So you never know who you're inspiring in the process of you overcoming whatever stops you. So that's my second tip. The third tip is reframe your definition of perfection. Reframe it. Anything imperfect is 100x better than your perfect thing, which is taking forever to come out. This is something that really stuck with me when I attended a book launch, I think last week. So, imperfect and action is way better than you sitting and perfecting it and it never seeing the light of the day. So, just take that first step, however imperfect it is. You can always polish it along the way. And the fourth one is definitely lean into your discomfort, because the more, it's also like a muscle, almost like how creativity is a muscle. This is also a muscle that you can develop. Lean into it. The more you do it, the more you're going to feel that, okay, this wasn't that bad. Even if it was a little bad, you know what to work, what to tweak, or what to rework around. But it's any day better than not taking any action and just sitting with your imposter syndrome and just mulling over it. So lean into that discomfort. And the other one that I would say is the last thing that I would actually encourage you is, what is that little step that you can take today to take that action? Is it hitting send on that email for that raise? Or is it sending that, DM to someone you want to collaborate with? Or is it picking up the phone and, whatever, talking to that person for the job opportunity? Or is it just pressing the live button and going live? Whatever is that small step that you can take today to actually get over that hump of your imposter syndrome, do it today after your live. After this live that I finish, I want you to take that one tiny step. So take it tiny step at a time. And over the time, you will see how much it compounds and how much it makes it easier for you to take the action the next time. So I really hope that these experiences and these instances help you with using your imposter syndrome as your fuel and not as your enemy. And here I'm saying another thing for external accountability. I will see you next Thursday with another live and with another topic that relates to all of us. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me, send me a message. I love listening to all your questions and answering them, and I'll definitely answer them in the next live as well. And I cannot appreciate you enough to give me your time and attention by attending this live. It was an absolute pleasure chatting with you, and I will see you next Thursday with another topic. Until then, keep it creative, keep pushing forward, and keep moving forward. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you next Thursday. See ya. Bye.